Greetings everyone. So my topic is behavioral approach and system approach. So before knowing what is an behavioral approach and system approach, we have to know about what is an approach in educational administration. So approach in educational administration just encompasses like strategic planning, resource allocation, like creating and conducive learning environment, and also involves like effective leadership, like transparent communication with one another between stakeholders and the institution among, and then decision making. So it just ensure the optimal student outcomes. So it mainly prioritize like four things that involves like collaboration among stakeholders, continuous improvement, adaptability to meet evolving educational needs. So what is in behavioral approach? So behavioral approach is nothing but focus on the actions and behaviors of the students. So behavioral approach is focus on the students, then the institution and other things at all. So it emphasizes the study of human behavior, their what is the motivation they need, and the leadership styles we have to know to teach them effectively, and the decision making process according to the needs of the learners. So principles of behavioral approach. So the same thing which is individual attention, positive reinforcement, effective communication, and adaptive leadership. So individual attention is nothing but recognize the unique needs. Each and every learner differs from, and they all have their different learning styles. So according to that we have to teach them. So this is called individual attention. And for positive reinforcement, it's like motivation. We have to give rewards after they have done a great job in their work, or maybe we have give a motivation to encourage them to study more efficiently in the future. And for effective communication, it's very important to have an effective communication between student and teachers, or between the stakeholders, or between every channels. Like there is a proper, only if there is a proper communication among all the people who works together in the group, the goals they have should be achieved positively or easily, because of effective communication. So adaptive leadership is like you have to like adjust to their learning needs of the students. So this may improve them through their studies, and they can easily learn from how they want. So applications of behavioral approach just involve three categories, which is like teacher training programs. So we can apply it on the teacher training programs because they can teach effectively in the future. Classroom management strategies. A teacher can just applicate the behavioral approach and classroom strategies to manage the students quite effectively. And student counseling and supportive services, because if there is any problem with the students behavior, we can easily just counsel them, and make their way more clear for them. And advantages is just focus on like individual growth. So it promotes, it's just not only going to promote the personal growth, but also the professional development of the student. And then enhance communication, so it's going to improve the throughout the proper hierarchy of institutions group, and it's going to improve effective communication in each and every group. So within among the institution, the effective communication and interaction is very important. And flexible leadership. So as far we know, students should able to uh, effectively learn only because teachers, when teachers teach them with their unique needs, they can easily understand or may grow effectively. So flexible leadership is also the great advantage from the behavioral approach. Next, limitations. So limitations, it's maybe like time consuming. So time consuming in the sense we have to look into each and every child's own need. So it can be like record significant investment in training also. And then resistant to change, some students behavior may not change because of their children's like children background, or maybe something that can really affect them. So that is like resistant to change to their situation. And complexity, like human behavior is very multifaceted. So like it can be not easy to adapt to each and every needs of the learners. So next one is system approach. So system approach, like in the sense for educational institution, it's like a systematic thing. Like it is an interconnected systems. Like it is connected through a complex material. So various elements working together to achieve a only one common goal. So it focuses on relations, interdependencies, and feedback mechanism. So behavioral approach does not involve the feedback mechanism, but here in system approach we can get a feedback mechanism. Next is components of a system approach. So components which involves input, output, and center process. So as for the input, the resources like human capital, the resources like we humans, and like financial resources and like physical infrastructure are needed for some institution to teach or bring students together. So as for the process, what we are doing in that institution, it's like activities and interactions that occur within the educational system, like teaching, learning, and administrative functions. So outputs is directly involves the achievements and achievements of the school as well as the achievements of the students. So principles of system approach. So principles which involve like holistic perspective. So it involves all the components and to achieve a common goal. So it considers the entire educational system rather than like isolated components. They all connected and they work together to achieve a common goal. And interdisciplinary collaboration. So it encourages cooperation among different departments within the same institution, and like continuous improvement because it adapts to the ongoing assessment and evaluation. It just continues as per the year, so it optimizes to the system performance. Then applications of system approach. So application is if you want to have a like strategy or a decision making process in we can simply use system approach. And if you want to check about equality assurance or accreditation process, we can use a system approach. And then for like organizational development or maybe we can change management, we can use system approach. So advantages is nothing but efficiency. So efficiency means we can use the resources for to its maximum. And then alignment of goals, we have to achieve the common goal at first. That's the only thing. And the stakeholders and groups within the institution work together to achieve that goal. And adaptability is nothing but they can use like feedback mechanisms to adapt to internal and external changes as well. So limitations, so same thing, like it may be resistant to change and complexity is there. So complexity in the sense we can call it as educational system like intricate, like connected and very dynamic. So it is like very hard to manage all the groups isolatedly. And then resistant to change in the sense like we can systematic changes, like we have to get approval from each stakeholders and within the department. So it is resistant to change. Suddenly changing something is very hard. So overemphasis is on structure, like we have this tableau where overemphasis is given on the structure, like it does not involve any individual needs perspective. So just the structure is focused on achieving a one common goal. So I have created a comparative analysis of system and behavioral approaches. So the focus for behavioral approach is on individual behavior and interactions, but for system approach it is interconnected elements and relationship. As for goal, behavioral approaches goal is improving individual performance and motivation. As for system approach, it is enhancing overall organizational. Then the behavioral approach emphasis is given on human factors and psychology, but for system approach it is a structure process. For leadership style, behavioral approach involves participative and supportive learning, and for leadership style and system approach it is adaptive and strategic. For decision making, behavioral approach is not decentralized and participatory. For system approach, it is holistic and collaborative. For communication style, open or two-way communication, but for the system approach, it is like formalized channels. And for change management, incremental changes based on individual need, they can change. But for system, it's like involves the entire organization. So evaluation is based on feedback oriented, focused on individual process. This is comprehensive evaluation of organizational outcomes. So flexibility in the sense adaptive to individual differences, but for system approach it is in adaptability to dynamic environmental conditions. So as for application, it applies to small groups and team dynamics, but system approach involves like large organization or institutional structures. So so far we have seen about like system approach and behavioral approach. So behavioral approach is mainly focused on the human behavior and its motivation, while the system approach focus on the interactions and the relationship within an educational system. So the importance of giving integrating both perspective to the meeting the needs of the learners, or you can just focus on the systematic change. So we can always embrace a holistic approach by involving these two approach in your institution, in your educational administration. So this may like embrace a holistic approach to educational leadership and manage to create a positive and sustainable change. Thank you.